as we have done last time. This is called informal meditation, like a child simply runs towards his mother and hugs his mother because they have that bonding of love. So, you have seen last time we began the session with this informal meditation, and towards the end, when we had learned Patanjali's prescription of Ashtanga Yoga, then we did step by step what is called formal meditation. So, towards the end of the course, my objective is to make them converge so that you can go in meditation just at the drop of sound, probably. Okay, here is the term, small mantra, so to say, Om Satchidananda. It is a compound word made of Sat, Chit, and Anand, meaning ever existent, consciousness, and blissful. Let us recite this mantra orally, with sound becoming gradually feeble. After all, we are communicating to our mind only. Then mentally and finally meditate upon it as if we are just submerged in an ocean of blissful nectar, void of any thoughts whatsoever. If there is a thought, it means I am connected to my mind. So I want to disconnect from my mind and be with that cosmic entity. Void of any thought whatsoever. If a thought wave strikes, then repel it gently with the sound of Om. So if your mind is knocking at the door of your cave, you just say Om. Instead, again, you want to be alone, disconnected from your mind, and feel the feeling of being with that cosmic entity who is expressed as Satchidananda. Om 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 Satchidananda. We can gradually open our eyes slowly. Welcome, Namaste, to the second session of Patanjali meditation. Today I have selected a Ved mantra. Om Vishwani Deva Savita Duyitani Parasuva Yat Bhadram Tanna Asuva. English translation is, Hey Savita Dev. We are addressing to Savita Dev. Savita is one who gives birth to us, mother as well as father. It includes both, whoever gives birth to us. And in this universe, there is a cosmic entity who brought us into the world as well as who has created everything in the universe. So, what are we seeking? We say Vishwani Duyitani Payasva. Vishwani means Sarvani, all negativities. Duyitani means evil, evils and impurities. And then we are saying, may it go away from me. Payasu. Yad, whatever is positive, bhadram, tat, that, na means to us, asuva. May all the goodness, all the happiness, all the positivities come to us. Note the sequence. This is very important. Say if I have a glass, empty glass, I want to fill up with water, sweet, clear, filtered water. But before that, I must ensure that glass is clean. If the glass has dust in it, then pouring water into it doesn't make sense. So first you take away all the impurities, and then only you can expect goodness to come into it. And that is what we were seeking, and that's what slightly amplified here. Mother Nature detoxifies our body when we are in sleep. Not only that, every moment through the process of breathing, the used carbonaceous air, which has all the impurities of my bloodstream, is thrown out. Exhalation. And then I inhale the fresh air, and that goes on every moment, non-stop breathing. So this is the design of that Savita Dev, that automatically, as I am residing in this system, the cleaning process is always there. And if I labor hard, that is the beauty of meditation. When I have inactive, still, blank mind, then Savita Dev can clean my mind. That's why meditation is so important. We know how to wash our body, but there is nobody in the world who knows how to wash your mind. Patanjali meditation is the only process. When I am deep in meditation, Savita Dev is cleansing my mind. As you know it, if I want to wash my car, I must hand it over to a person, and as far as I am concerned, it is in inactive mode. I am not using my car at that time. Then only the person can wash it, clean it properly. So that is what meditation is. I must make my mind thoroughly inactive, and then Savita Dev makes it clean, resets it, because day to day, whether I like it or not, whether I want it or not, all kinds of things get added into my mind, wanted as well as unwanted things. Just like a gardener weeds out unwanted things from the garden, we have to hand it over to Savita Dev so that unwanted things get away from our mind and we become again a pure, innocent, clean mind. That's the beauty of meditation. Let's proceed further. Last time we were discussing Yoga Sutra, chapter 1 from 1 to 11. And this is the slide which kind of summarizes 1.6 to 1.12. Yoga was defined as yoga chitta vritti niyodha. This is my chitta, mind skin. If there is absolutely nothing, then my mind is in raw, clean slate, just like the white screen behind me. When we entered into this hall, this was raw white color. If anything appears on it, that is called vritti. Sorry about this, I have not said it properly, but next time we will do it better. So this is chitta, and there are five kinds of modifications possible called vritti. The kayak knowledge, inkayak but acceptable. I gave the example of the sun is rising. Actually, sun doesn't rise. Actually, the earth rotates so that it becomes visible to you. But that is what we say it, and it is the norm, and people understand it. So this is not a strictly correct statement, but not incorrect as well, because it carries the meaning. Then there is a possibility my mind is in blackout. I go to deep sleep, my instrument is there, but it doesn't do its job, as if there is a superior force made it total blackout. It is not working. It is nidya. And smriti, the fifth one, is I close my eyes and I recollect something from my memory. I like to see my daughter's image, and it is faithfully brought in there on my chit, and it becomes visible to me. So you are playing back your inner record system, so to say. So these are five possible situations with my mind scan, and yoga is to subdue all these five modifications. Yes, the gentleman is helping there. I think the number is 24 there for what is called LAV2. If you can lower the volume slightly there, that will probably do the job. So yoga is to subdue all these possible five kinds of modifications. So it is a journey from right to left. I pointed out last time there are some people using the term called yoga nidya. It is an incorrect, invalid term. You will see if you are in nidya, you are here, and if you are in yoga, you are there. So yoga means subduing all these vrittis, all these modifications, and nidya is one of them. So these are a lot of confusion when it comes to Patanjali Yoga. I don't want to criticize anybody, but just to be loyal to Patanjali, to do justice to him, I'll point out some of these inaccuracies that are prevailing. 1.12 was how to subdue it, how to I think if you go to that channel 24, just below the red button of mute, there is select. If you select it, then on the top left side, there is a knob that has to be reduced slightly. I should have done it properly when I started the session. I hope that works. So modifications, the original 1.12 was Abhyas Vyabhyam Tanyodha. Abhyas Vairagyabhyam Tanyodha. Abhyas and Vairagya is the twofold approach to subdue these modifications. So modifications are subdued by Abhyas, I have translated as practice, and Vairagya, I have translated as enunciation. That is what will help you traverse from right to left in the direction towards yoga. Let's study some of more of the way Yoga Sutras. This is 1.13. The title is Practice Abhyas. The original statement is Tattva Sthito Yatno Abhyasa. Tattva means in this journey, wherever you are stationed, Sthito means you are grounded there, and for that, Yatna means the effort you make that is called practice. So like many of you are practicing asana and pranayama, if you stop this practice, then you will go walk backward. Whatever you had gained in last few weeks, you will be losing that. So practice is called an effort so that you remain where you are, isn't it? That's the way you have to be in regular practice, and if possible, that will propel you slightly forward also. Now he defines the nature of practice, that is statement number 14. Sa tu, sa means that practice, tu means definitely, he is making it a very strong statement. That can happen only if the three characteristics are retained. Digh kal, long term. You cannot say I practiced for 1 week and I didn't learn meditation, so you start blaming Patanjali. No, it has to be a long, great length of time. Nayantaya means continuous process. Not one day you do it, meditation at home, other day you don't do it. Not like that. It has to be unwavering, unbroken, a continuous process. Satkaya sevito, with positive attitude. You may have doubt about, oh, Patanjali is saying all kinds of big things. He's claiming this and that. Who has who has achieved all that? And you have that, you are harboring an element of doubt. That also doesn't help with practice. So these three things, three factors are important. Dirghakal, great length of time, Nayantaya, continuously, and Satkaya Sevita. So this was his two statements devoted to Abhyas, namely practice. Now he comes to Vairagya. Again, he has devoted two statements on Vairagya. Let me take number 15. Now, when it comes to Vairagya, he is saying there are two levels. So, level 1 and level 2. So, level 1 is defined in statement 15. Drashta Anushavik Vishay Vitrishnasya Vashika Sanjya Vayagyam. So this level 1 Vayagya, he gives it a name, Vashika. I have translated Vashika as non-attachment. So statement number 15 is talking about level 1 of Vayagya, Vashika, which is non-attachment. And let's look at these words carefully. This means what I have gone through. Technically, commonly, this means what I have seen. But you remember that analogy, I am the observer, thumb in the fist. So this is the mind scan I am always watching. But this is a fantastic scan with 5 dimensions of sight, sound, smell, taste, and touch. So this is the observer. But this is not just seeing through the eyes. This is, here the dust means anything that has appeared on the mind scan. I hope you understand what I'm trying to say. This is not just seeing through the eyes, it is observing or direct perception of 5 kinds of knowledge which enter into my mind scan through 5 senses, namely sight, sound, smell, taste, and touch. So the word is just as if seeing, but actually it is observing or direct perception. So just the experience that I have myself gone through. All these are sensual experiences. Say I have enjoyed eating a particular ice cream. So this is an experience I have myself gone through it. Some experiences I have not gone through it. Anushavik, I have heard from others. Somebody has said he went to that restaurant and he had that delicious dish and he enjoyed it very much. I, having heard that, I feel like maybe one day I should also go there. So these are sensual experiences, basically in two categories. I have myself gone through or I have overheard from others. Just Anushavik, Vishay. Vishay means any sensual object of pleasure. So that is Vishay. Vitashnasya. Trishna is my thirst. I have thirst for different objects of pleasure. So that is what a common man goes through. He makes an effort to acquire new and new objects of pleasure, and life goes on like that. So here it is Vitashnasya. So the Vashika Vairagya level 1 is I have enjoyed a particular ice cream that is right here in my easy reach. There is no camera, nobody is watching, and I can eat it as and when I want it. But I have become so matured now. It is there, I can see it, but I'm not tempted by it. So the objects of pleasures are available. They are in my easy reach. I have gone through them or I have overheard them, but I am no more tempted by them. When you raise your level of maturity to that extent, you have achieved level 1 of Vairagya, what is called non attachment, Vashika. Then he says the second level, which is higher enunciation, Paravayag. Para means beyond, so a higher level of it. That he defines Tat Param. Beyond that, Purush Khyate Gun Shunyam. Now, let me read what I have translated. Beyond the level of non attachment, one doesn't get hooked to pleasures of meditation, that too are subtle modifications to the mind skin by way of intuitive cognition to be dealt in 1.17. Next statement is talking about something when I have cleared my mind skin void of worldly thoughts, then I am in the journey of meditation. But they are not actually the end result of meditation, something in between that is called Sampajñat Samadhi, which will be discussed next week. But I will just say, as a beginner of meditation, you find some experiences as very pleasant experience. But Patanjali here is suggesting you should not get hooked to that state. Otherwise, your onward journey of meditation will be blocked. So getting hooked to that again requires a level 2 of Vairagya, that no, I want to proceed and make progress further because there are further stations to come in this journey of meditation. So that is called, what is the last point? Last point is called Purush Khyate. Until I have what is called discriminative knowledge, let me come back to this thumb in fist again. So when I have no worldly thoughts here, which could be acquired through five senses, I am in meditation. But that is a early levels of meditation. Then something else appears there. That is called as intuitive cognition, sampajat samadhi, and you begin to enjoy it. Yes, I feel very nice when I sit in meditation. But Patanjali is saying, even here something is appearing here. Don't treat that as your final destination. Final destination comes when this is absolutely blank, and then you know your own self. Otherwise, you are seeing the image of yourself here. This we'll discuss later in the next week. Otherwise, too many things are coming. I'm just trying to explain two levels of Vairagya renunciation. One is no more sensual pleasures are tempting to me. Secondly, even the beauty or happiness associated with states of meditation, they are also not tempting to me because I am determined to go to the end objective of meditation, what is called Vivek Khyati or Purush Khyati, which we will discuss at length next time. Let's proceed further because you might have noticed I am trying to bring many things in this particular course, the Ved Mantras, the Yoga Sutra, and discussions on certain things. So my objective is to pass on a packaged thing to you by the end of this course. So let's look at, but I am making a very strong comment. I hope nobody gets offended. The title here is You Might Have Heard or Read, based on Abhyas and Vairagya. I am making a strong statement because I was also one of this when before I got to this journey at this place. I also believed there are many alternative paths to yoga, namely Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga, Dhyan Yoga, Bhakti Yoga, and many more besides Patanjali's Raj Yoga. So you might have read it or heard it. Something like that has been told to us in the last, I will say, couple of thousands of years in Indian history. There was an attempt Now, when I look back, I don't take it lightly. I think it was a bad, wrong attempt to put Patanjali Yoga as one of the many paths. That was belittling Patanjali Yoga. Of course, they were kind enough to title it Raj Yoga as if this is royal yoga, but they said that that is not the only path. There are many other ways to achieve yoga, namely by action, karma yoga, by gaining theoretical knowledge, jnana yoga, by just sitting in meditation, dhyana yoga, or being deeply in devotion with that cosmic entity that is called bhakti yoga. I know personally would like to tell you because that is what the truth is. The truth is there is only one yoga. Patanjali's yoga that is defined, that is described just a couple of sheets here, 195 small lines. That is the only Patanjali yoga, only yoga. But that requires proficiency in many things. Just like a house is built on many pillars, if one of the pillar is broken, entire roof is going to collapse. So that is what Patanjali Yoga is not achieved by one frame. You have to have a holistic effort, and that holistic effort requires karma, which is action, and that's what we discussed just now in abhyas. You know, abhyas is practicing, so making effort. So that is the karma component of Patanjali Yoga. Jnana component, like I am describing, the meaning of the Patanjali Yoga Sutra, if you don't know them, you cannot practice them. So that also is required, and that is what Jnana he is calling higher level of Jnana, higher level of knowledge that yes, these sensual objects or pleasures give me pleasures, but the lifetime of that pleasure is very small. They don't have much of universality. Somebody likes this ice cream, somebody likes that ice cream. They have no universality. So you are now, you have the knowledge. I want to go to a higher order pleasure, absolute pleasure, anand kind of a thing. And that also not just abhyas and vairagya will do it. You have to sit and practice meditation. So that is dhyan component of it. And that also doesn't work fully unless you have devotion to that entity. And that we'll be discussing in a couple of weeks what Patanjali calls Ishwar Pranidhan. So Patanjali Yoga is the only yoga to be in union with that cosmic spirit, to disconnect from body and mind and be with him. And that requires all these components. And if somebody says, I can achieve just by action, just by this, he doesn't know what Patanjali Yoga is then. Let's discuss further. Last time we have used this slide. I am as a human being, conscious human being, a composite of body, mind, and my soul, myself. Then that's the beauty of Sankhya and Yoga. Kapil and Patanjali, they have pointed out that these instruments of body and mind, of course, I am the owner of them, but they are functioning because of a number of background forces. In medical terms, we call it non-voluntary forces. Like at this point, heartbeat is on, the breathing is on, I am focused on thoughts and speaking out. You are listening to me, but we are all breathing because this is happening in background. These are called pranic forces, pran, apan, vyan, saman, udan. They are more or less approximately stationed at nervous system, respiratory system, cardiovascular system, digestive system, and renal system. But Patanjali, that's his beauty, he singles out breathing out of it, which when it comes to that, I can take slight control of it. I show you a number of arrows here because this system works only because I am eating food. If I stop eating food, then this powerhouse will not work. I like to call it as powerhouse. But powerhouse requires some inner fuel, and that is coming from the food that we supply to our body. So this arrow goes like that. And then this powerhouse gives subtle energy to the body so that body is functioning. Similarly, it gives subtle energy to the mind so that my mind is functioning. And then there is an arrow from mind to the breath. When it wants, I want to do deep breathing, I apply my mind and I am able to control my breathing. So that is the meaning of two pairs of arrows here. And then there is an arrow vertical here, just notionally placing my breathing domain between body and mind. So when we have time, we'll go in detail. This is called Annamaya course. This is called Pranamaya course. Outer mind is called Manomaya course. This where Chit is lying, this is called Vijnanmaya course. And I am always in Anandamaya course. That is, I am in the lap of that Savita Dev. But I don't realize it because I am so much connected to my mind. That's the beauty of Patanjali meditation, that I want to understand all this and then practice it and then get really that taste of that. Let's discuss the breathing today. I have selected this for today's discussion. When we were born as a small child, we were breathing what is called diaphragmatic breathing, abdominal breathing. For breathing, we have basically two volumes, abdominal volume and the rib cage, the chest level. So you can treat them as a balloon, and if air goes into it, it expands. If air comes out of it, it shrinks. So basically, this is our primary volume, primary balloon, the lower one. But if it comes to that, in special occasion, like fight or flight operation, I can function with this is additional volume. So when there is a stressful situation, high demand, high exertion, then this becomes functional. But if you notice yourself, most of us are breathing normally here. And that is a good barometer that I have become a stressful person. Because this was to be used only when I was in a stressful situation. Now we are using it 24/7 because we are 24/7 under stress. So that is what is the job of Patanjali meditation. Among many things you are learning, we are trying to make our lower balloon functional, which otherwise has become dormant. So I am trying to go deeper breathing, diaphragmatic breathing, or what I call abdominal breathing. So this is what is going to happen. As we learned last time, as I breathe out, my abdomen shrinks inward, and as I breathe in, it expands outward. How important is the breathing? I think we all know it, but I want to spend a couple of minutes on that. Human body as an engine. There is an interesting corollary between an internal combustion engine, which drives our automobile, and this system as a human being. Look at the nomenclature, very interesting. We know it in an engine, the fuel and air mix together at a carburetor, there is an air filter and so on and so forth, and then only the engine is fired. And the fuel consists of what is called complex hydrocarbons. And if you look at human beings, instead of fuel, we say we eat food. And our food consists mainly of carbohydrates, which is also similar to hydrocarbon. Both are complex compounds of carbon and hydrogen atoms. So this is very important, useful analogy, which I will utilize as we proceed further. We have studied in our high school simple chemistry of metabolism. When I breathe in air, that oxygen is absorbed by the bloodstream in the lungs. And then the blood droplet goes around the whole body. And in that passage of time, this is the chemistry that is taking place. C is coming from my food, and this oxygen is coming from the breathing that we are doing. Bloodstream already has the carbohydrates, and now it absorbs in my lungs oxygen. And then that blood droplet is going around the whole body, and this carbon and oxygen become carbon dioxide, and it releases energy. That's why wherever you touch, the body is warm at 37 degrees Celsius. Every blood droplet, this chemistry is going on, and it is working like a furnace. It is releasing energy. And that's what is happening in an automobile engine. I have put some numbers here. Their atomic weight and molecular weights. 12 grams of carbon requires 32 grams of oxygen, and anybody can add it. 44 grams of carbon dioxide is produced, and in this process, 12 grams of carbon, it had its inherent energy, but it gives out energy only when it is able to mix with oxygen. Otherwise, you can have a lot of gasoline, lot of coal, and lot of carbon, but it has energy, but it doesn't give out unless this chemistry takes place. And that's what is happening in the human body system. And that chemistry is greatly disturbed if I am not, we are all eating well, we have enough food at home, but if you are not breathing well, you will see how much this chemistry gets disturbed. Just showing you one more slide, and then give it to you as a food for thought. You can think, suppose you are deficient in breathing by 50%. Instead of 32 grams of oxygen, you supplied only 16 grams of oxygen to the body system. Then the question is, what is going to happen here? Just like in an automobile engine, if your air filter is choked, not sufficient air is going in, then this is not going to do well for the engine. But here it is very, very bad thing. But the system is so good, you may say, why did I take a case of 50% efficiency? No automobile engine is going to work even with 15 or 20% efficiency. But I am taking 50%, so you may say, you are taking a very bad case. But I remember one day I was doing this workshop in New York. One medical expert who was expert in respiratory system, he said that there are human beings who breathe, who have 85% efficiency. Can you believe that? Breathing only 1/7 of the volume that we have. Because they smoke, a lot of nicotine has deposited, they are breathing only 1/7 of the volume. So 50% is not a bad case. Many of us are that level, and we'll discuss next time what happens to this and how important it is for our breathing to get corrected. And that is what, thanks to Patanjali, as we are learning breathing with our 5 steps, we are also devoting a couple of minutes to deep breathing. So this was our 5 steps of Ashtanga Yoga, which we tried to assimilate last time, and that's what we will do again, the practice of what I call formal meditation, where we follow step by step of Ashtanga Yoga. This is asana, pranayam, pratyahar, dharana, and dhyan. Dhyan is meditation. I am translating these 5 steps. I hope gradually you will pick up these 5 steps. This is very important. We meet here weekly, but I urge you to do every day, daily meditation. So when you go home, you should know these 5 steps. So as I have told you, this is nothing but a notional inward journey. If you remember, this is the step 1, body posture. This is deep breathing related to this station. Then outer mind, we instruct our mind. 3rd step. The 4th step is concentration. In the mind skin, we want to tell our mind, you just be stationed here, outside of my cave, stay put there. So that is inner mind here. And then 5th is, I retract my consciousness and go into my cave. So these were 5 steps, very scientific, from description of a human being. So 5 steps again are body posture, disciplining your body so that the 10-15 minutes you are in your cave, your body is not wavering. Patanjali defines it as sthe sukham asana. The body posture which is stable, unwavering, and is also not painful. It is comfortable. So we have discussed that as Sukhasana. I will show that slide again. The next step is deep disciplining your breathing. Of course, 24/7, it happens by itself. But as a precursor to meditation, I take its control and I do deep breathing. And that's what we do in the second station. Then third station, I have come across outer part of my mind and I instruct my mind, my secretary, look, I have to disconnect with you. I am not interested in fetching all kinds of information from the world. You also calm down. And don't bring me to anything, thoughts and memory. All the inner VCRs will also be switched off. No live programs and no recorded program. I don't watch anything. So station 3 is just to instruct him that I am going inward into my cave through that code word Om. And then the fourth step is making him stay put there. We were focusing our mind at the third eye. Then I am alone. I walk deep into my cave. Very scientific, so it should be easy enough for you to remember the 5 steps. Again, body posture, deep breathing, instruction to your mind, concentrating your mind at the third eye, walking down into the cave. Is that clear? I think it's so clear. And I urge you again to do it, like Patanjali has said, Abhyas and Vairagya, you need to do daily practice, 10 minutes to 15 minutes. Formal meditation. 5 to 7 minutes for informal meditation. Do one at a time, maybe one in the morning, one in the evening. You will say, I am very busy, I have no time. But trust me, you do this for a month, 4 weeks, and this exercise will save you a great deal of time. Your sleep hours will reduce. The many things which you do in about, say, 90 minutes, now that will get done in 70 minutes. You will save 1 hour, 1.5 hours from your 24 hours. So you have to invest, be steadfast, persistent for 1 month. That is the time you should not give up. And then you will start seeing how much benefit, how much time you are gaining. Let's go through these 5 steps again, and then we sit for meditation. The step 1 body posture was very simple. Let's go to the monitor room so that my friends who are in distant mode, they can also see it. So this is Sukhasana. It's very simple. If you spread out your 2 feet, I don't know why is this. Yeah. If you spread out your 2 feet, just fold them inward. This is very simple, Sukhasana. And if possible, make lower back, shoulder and neck in a straight line, but not too stiff. Be relaxed. Your hands can be interlocked, one over the other, or on the knees. And if you have slight difficulty at home, you take the support of the wall. So you have all kinds of possibilities, but be relaxed. So this is the body posture. Please allow me, because I am used to another posture. I am taking a posture called Siddhasana because I just find it so nice, and I'm going to teach this also maybe a couple of weeks from now, one by one. So every day, every week when we meet, we will improve our something. That is what we are doing. So last week was basic meditation, and today I am improving the second step of Patanjali, namely deep breathing. So let's look at that. Last time we were breathing with 2 phases in a breathing cycle. Breathe out followed by breathe in, isn't it? Today we introduce 2 more phases. Excuse me. So now there will be 4 phases in a breathing cycle. So today's improvisation is in the step 2 of pranayam, deep breathing. Let me just demonstrate it again. It was very simple. As I breathe out, this end of it, I just hold the air out. as if I am retaining the air out. And of course, the body will demand air. There will be a slight onset of discomfort. And at that point, I take in the breathe in air. And now again, I hold the air within me as if the whole system is airtight. But after some moments, my body will demand that this air should be thrown out. There will be onset of discomfort. Maharishi Dayananda writes in his book Satyat Prakash, जब बेचैनी होने लगे, the moment there is an onset of discomfort, you move to the next phase. Just want to give you Sanskrit term, but if you don't know it, no problem. Exhalation, air check, holding the air out, Bahya Kumbhak, breathing in, called Purak, and holding the air within me, Abhyanta Kumbhak. Kumbh is a vessel, as if I am holding the air in the vessel. So this is the kind of deep breathing we will be doing today, and that is a kind of slight improvisation. Then the third step is instruction to the secretary, the mind. Patanjali suggests that we use a code word for this purpose, a simple monosyllable sound, Om. But it is called Plut sound, what he calls Pranav Dhwani. So we bring it, typical Om is from throat to the lips, but when I enhance it, the vowel sound, bring it from the navel, it becomes like Om. This is what we have been reciting 5 times, as if to instruct my mind that, look, I want to disconnect from the outer world and from you also, and then walk deep into my cave. Next is fourth step, which is concentration, what Patanjali calls dharana, focusing the mind, or what some meditation teachers call mindfulness. So here, soon after our sound is over, we focus our mind at the third eye, as if we expect our mind to get stationed there. This is the place for you to sit down. And then I will walk deep into the sky, which I can see in my forehead. Finally, the fifth step, meditation. If you want to borrow the term of mindfulness, I can say this is mindlessness. Doesn't look a positive term, but just to describe it, when I want to be without my mind, as if my mind is blank and I am disconnected from my blank. So that's the time, as if my mind is stationed here, I continue to observe in my forehead, it's an infinite, endless sky. I walk deep into the sky that you see in the forehead. Nothing happens there. Sit and be relaxed. You are in meditation. If mind sends in a thought wave, be watchful, don't entertain it, and re-instruct it calmly with sound Om. So you are deep in meditation. A thought wave is striking here. You are aware of it. Don't get involved. Just instruct your mind again. That same code word Om, and come back to meditation. Meditation means blank mind, void of thoughts. Okay, we are ready now. As I said last time also, I am setting an alarm. The time here is 9:32. Sorry, 10:32. And because this is a very practical way, just putting exact 10:45, 13 minutes. So I can show you in 13 minutes you can benefit from formal meditation. And putting an alarm is useful in the sense then mind has no reason to remind you the next commitment. You will tell your mind, I have set an alarm, I will not exceed this time. So mind has one less reason to disturb you. Let's move further now. We are ready with the 5 steps of meditation. Please take your steps. If you are too tired on the floor, be on a chair So of course, that is also a possibility. If you are too tired to sit in a posture, you can take a chair which is armless, a typical dining chair, and your back is slightly away from the chair's back, and your hands are on your knees. This is our posture, and I can see most of you are in Sukhasana posture. Now we'll devote next couple of minutes to deep breathing. The 4 phases in a breathing cycle. Activate your abdominal muscles so that your lower balloon, lower volume is functioning. Deep breathe out. Hold the breath out. Deep breathe in. Hold the breath within. Breathe out. Hold it out. Deep breathe in. Hold it within. Breathe out. Hold it out. Breathe in. Hold it within. Breathe out. Hold it out. Breathe in. Hold it within. One more last breathing cycle. Deep breathe out. Hold it out. Breathe in. Hold it within. Now we disconnect from our breathing as well. We know it, our body will do it in its automatic mode. Please remember, deep in meditation, you want to be unconcerned with your body and breathing. We are waiting for breathing to become normal so that we can truly disconnect from it. Next 3 steps very quickly. Instructing our mind with that code word 5 times. Focusing our mind at the third eye. Walking deep into the sky. Getting lost. If a thought wave enters, again reminding our mind, oh. Now we begin the step number 3. Let's recite together 5 times. Om. 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 We can gradually open our eyes. That concludes our second session. See you next week.